Hello student, already we started the course physics of semiconductor devices, and from that we already gone through the subtopics from the first module, properties of semiconductor. Uh, in this today's lecture we covered the following topic especially because in last few lectures we already covered about the basic properties of semiconductor. What is meant by semiconductor, how we distinguish between semiconductor, metal, insulator, what are the types of semiconductor, especially intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductor, and basic of that, as well as also we well studied about how we can calculate the carrier concentration in semiconductor, especially carrier concentration in intrinsic semiconductor, that is for the carrier concentration for electrons and carrier concentration for the holes. As well as we also calculate how the about the calculation of the Fermi level we done for intrinsic semiconductor, then how EF is equal to EG by 2, EG by 2 we studied already. Then in this lecture particularly will go for extrinsic semiconductor, means those semiconductor with doped with impurities, and for we are doping impurities to enhance the properties of intrinsic or pure semiconductor. And based on that we have two types, that is n type semiconductor as well as the p type semiconductor, where n type semiconductor is the donor which having a impurities which contain the five electrons in their valence shell, such as antimony, bismuth, phosphorus, and p-type semiconductor in which three electrons in their outermost, that is the acceptor impurities, such as the boron, aluminium, gallium. And as like a previous, we calculate the carrier concentration for intrinsic semiconductor. Here we calculate the carrier concentration for the n-type extrinsic semiconductor and p-type extrinsic semiconductor, and which is followed by the Fermi level calculation. As well also we calculate the, that is a EI, that is a reference level in the extrinsic semiconductor, and then we will see the number of numericals which is based on the intrinsic carrier concentration and this extrinsic carrier concentration. Then already we gone through this, but I am showing here about the intrinsic Fermi position to get a law of mass action, because we know the intrinsic semiconductor number of carrier concentration of electrons which is equal to the carrier concentration of holes, and this equation we already gone through the previous lecture. That is NC is a effective density of state which is in conduction band, and NV is the effective density of state which is in the valence band. And from that already we calculated how that is a EF is equal to EG divided by 2. This particular slide and next two slide are also adapted from this particular website, and this is only for the academic purpose I am taking this slide. Then intrinsic semiconductor, you already know the concentration of electrons, means carrier concentration of electron in conduction band is same as the or equal to the concentration of holes which in the valence band, because when electrons will go from valence band to the conduction band, for example two electrons which is in the conduction band, then two hole will remain in the valence band. These are the particular value we are showing NC, NV, because this is the value we calculated experimentally for the some standard semiconductor material like a silicon, then gallium arsenide, then germanium, yeah, and then particularly is showing the effective mass of electron as well as the effective mass of holes. This value particularly showing, this value will be used for further when we will go for the numericals. Then we know these two equation, that n naught is equal to Ni means nothing but the carrier concentration of electrons, that is in terms of Nc, that is effective density of state in the conduction band, and P naught is equal to Pi, that is I represent here intrinsic semiconductor, that is a pure semiconductor, and that is in terms of Nv. But we know that in intrinsic semiconductor number of electrons is equal to the number of holes in that. If you take a product of both the Ni and Pi, then you will become the Ni square, and that equation is become Ni square is equal to Nc Nv exponential E in bracket Ec minus Ev divided by Kt. Means Now we are getting product in terms of NC/NV, and if we put like previous slide we have value EF is equal to minus sorry, E, E, EF is equal to is your EF is equal to EG divided by 2, and that EG we can write in terms of EC and EV. This particular slide I adapted from this website, and then we are getting Ni square is equal to NC/Nv exponential minus Eg divided by Kt, and then which is shows that the product of carrier concentration of electron and holes is equal to Ni square, and that is called as a law of mass action. And this intrinsic carrier concentration APC, which is a function of band gap and which is not depend on the Fermi level here. Then again I am telling about the extrinsic semiconductor, that is n-type semiconductor and n-types p-type semiconductor, some basic things about it. If you see the below schematic figure, in which silicon is a pure semiconductor in which we are substituting or adding the arsenic impurity. We can add a different impurity: phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. Here we are taking the arsenic atom which contain the 5 electrons in the outermost shell. Then arsenic atom will form covalent with a 4 silicon neighboring atom. Then here whatever the 4 covalent bond it will, because silicon contain the 4 electrons in the outermost shell, so that it will be form the 4 covalent bond with the silicon by arsenic. Then fifth electron, if you see that is which is having a little binding energy to host of arsenic, can be ionized, and this ionized become a conduction electron which is at the moderate temperature. Then this electron here, which is we say that it is a donated to the conduction band, and this arsenic atom is called as a donor because it's a donate one electron which is remaining, and the silicon is become n-type because is the addition of negative charges due to the extra electron is here, and so that the n-type semiconductor is formed. As like n-type semiconductor, p-type semiconductor which having the acceptor impurities and which contain 3 electrons in their outermost shell, and then it will form the covalent bond with the silicon neighboring silicon atom, but only the 3 covalent bond will be formed and one hole is remaining here, and that hole is created which is in the valence band, and due to this boron which act like acceptor in the pure silicon, then the p-type semiconductor is formed. This is the basic about the n and p-type semiconductor. Then we'll go for the how we calculate the ionization energy. Here ionization energy is important. We have to calculate the ionization energy for this pure semiconductor like a silicon and germanium, when actually we add the impurities, maybe that is a donor impurities or acceptor impurity. For that purpose we are using a simple uh, Bohr atomic model. In Bohr atomic model we know the Bohr first postulate, second postulate we are using here. We know that centripetal force which is balanced by electrostatic force here, and which is shown here, and the second postulate which is mvr is equal to nh cross, and this particular slide I adapted from this particular website, and which is only for the academic purpose. And then if you rearrange the term, then you are getting equation in terms of velocity, then in terms of number of orbit, then finally we can calculate the value in terms of Bohr radius. And in a hydrogen atom, that is a Bohr radius is 0.053 nanometer. Then rearranging the term, but here is our main purpose is to calculate the that ionization energy value, which is the case of silicon. And for the we are using this equation, Rn divided by A naught is equal to n square epsilon r m naught divided by m star. If we put the each one value, for example, epsilon r is the relative permittivity of the silicon 11.7, then m star upon m naught is equal to 0.26. If you put the all value in this equation, then you are getting R1 divided by A naught, and this R1 you are getting 2.39 nanometer. And for silicon, that is Bohr atomic radius is a 0.543 nanometer. Then these are the very well known equation in terms of velocity. Then we know the equation in terms of kinetic energy. Just put the value of above V. Then in terms of equation of potential energy, and if you know the potential kinetic energy and potential energy, then we can easily calculate the total energy, and that total energy E is equal to minus m star e raised to 4 divided by twice n h cross square 4 pi epsilon bracket square. Because already by using Bohr's atomic model, we calculated the lowest energy state of hydrogen atom, and that energy value E is equal to minus 13.6 electron volt. And by using the same formula, if you calculate the value for the silicon, that is our main purpose, the lowest energy E is equal to minus 25.8 milli electron volt, and that we know the band gap is Eg is equal to 1.12 electron volt, which is at a room temperature. But here is a main important purpose is that how this ionization energy value will be changed when we add the impurities in semiconductor, that is the donor impurity or acceptor impurity in silicon or in germanium. Donor impurity, for example, you take example of phosphorus, then how this energy level change, that is 0.045 electron volt, that is the ionization energy, and 0.012 electron volt. And then if you take example of acceptors like a boron, then its value is 0.05 and germanium is 0.0105. Means from that we'll get that the value, the ionization energy value, how the donors and acceptor impurity affect on the silicon and germanium pure semiconductor and their ionization energy. Then then we have to go to for what is meant by non-degenerate semiconductor. Not, but before that we should know the what is my degenerate semiconductor. Degenerate semiconductor are the semiconductor in which when we add the or when we dope the impurities, and that doping concentration is very higher in a such a way that its conductivity is become comparable to the conductivity of some conductor material, and then we call it as a degenerate semiconductor. Then what is meant by non-degenerate semiconductor? If you see here, electron and hole concentration, which is a much lower than effective density of state in the conduction band. In terms of that is, if you take N or P, or if you take effective density of state, that is Nc and Nv for this value respectively, or if you take the Fermi level EF, which is at least 3 kt here, which is at room temperature is value 0.0259 electron volt, and that value kt is 3 kt above the EV, means of the valence band edge, or 3 kt below the EC, means the conduction band edge. And for that whatever the value for this, for such a semiconductor, we call it as a non-degenerate semiconductor. And then we'll go for under complete ionization condition, means we have a carrier concentration, the number of electrons per unit value, that is N is equal to Nd. What is the Nd here? Nd is nothing but the donor concentration, because here electron concentration or carrier concentration of electrons is equal to Nd, which is for the N-type semiconductor. If you see in the next slide, we are showing the complete ionization, where your donor energy level Ed is measured with respect to whom, that is the bottom of the conduction band, and which is equal to the concentration of electrons, which is mobile, and donor ions, that is immobile. If you see in this figure schematic energy band representation of extrinsic semiconductor, in first A figure, that is Ed with Ei, that is Ei nothing but the that is a reference level. When we go for extrinsic semiconductor, then we are taking that is a reference energy level Ei, then we are showing the Ed, the electrons which are mobile, and there is a donors ion which is immobile, that is the case of a donor ions. Then similarly, then For that, if you have the Fermi level in terms of effective density of state, which is for the donor atom, because already we calculate the effective density of states for intrinsic pure semiconductor. Now we are calculating for the extrinsic semiconductor, and from that, that is the first one, that is n-type semiconductor. EC minus EF is equal to KT ln NC by ND. NC uh, NC is nothing but the effective density of state in conduction band, and ND is a donor concentration. Similarly, we can calculate for the shallow acceptors, which is shown in next slide figure. If there is a complete ionization or under ionization, complete ionization condition, the concentration of hole P is equal to Na, where N is a acceptor concentration, and that is nothing but this acceptor ions, which is shown in the B figure, that is acceptor ion with respect to the reference level EI, and that is EI is acceptor energy, which is corresponding that. And similar way of n-type semiconductor, we can also calculate the corresponding Fermi level. From that, EF minus EV is equal to KT ln NV by Na. Here NV is the effective density of state in the valence band, and Na is nothing but the acceptor concentration. And from this figure, already we studied how that is exactly the energy representation when we have donor ion X and actor ion. Then below figure we showing the band diagram, because already we gone through the intrinsic semiconductor, how it is behaved like from the band diagram to the carrier concentration. Here when we add impurities, that is the donor impurity, then energy level how is shifting from EC towards the ED. Then first is schematic diagram is showing, the second one density of state, we showing the density of state in terms of ND, that is a donor impurities. Then about the Fermi distribution function in the C, and D in which carrier concentration. If you recall the previous intrinsic carrier concentration figure and this figure, in which shaded region of N, which is larger in size as compared to the P, because here in n-type semiconductor, electrons are the majority carriers and the holes are the minority carriers. We'll also go for the p-type semiconductor figure, but before that, the high means the higher the donor concentration, the smaller is the energy difference, and that is EC minus EF. That is the Fermi level will move closer to the bottom of the conduction. And similarly, in the n type, that is in p type, higher concentration, higher acceptor concentration, the Fermi level will move close to the top of the valence band, and from that it is very important to express electron and hole concentrations or electron hole density in the form of intrinsic carrier concentration, that is Ni, and then we can write this in terms of intrinsic Fermi level EF, as well as we are taking a new term here, that is EI, that is the reference level, and this reference level term we are considering when we are here dealing with extrinsic semiconductor, that is n-type semiconductor and p-type semiconductor. Then this concentration of electron n is equal to Nc, and in turn this equation already you know. Then we are writing equation in terms of reference level EI. Then we are getting final equation N is equal to Ni exponential in bracket EF minus EI with respect to the reference level divided by K. This is for the n-type semiconductor, that is carrier concentration of electron. Similarly, we can calculate the carrier concentration of hole in terms of reference level and Fermi level. As we gone through the previously I shown that is n-type figure. Now I am showing the both three figure in which we have energy band diagram, density of state, then Fermi-Dirac function and carrier concentration. Why I am showing this figure here? Because you can easily compare between when we calculate the carrier concentration in intrinsic semiconductor and when we calculate the carrier concentration in n-type semiconductor and p-type semiconductor, how the concentration level or how the shaded portion of concentration level changes is there. If you see in a first figure, in A, intrinsic means pure semiconductor in which we have the last one figure, the shaded region of N and P which are equal, because in intrinsic semiconductor number of electron is equal to the number of holes. That's why shaded region for N and P are showing the same size. But when we go for B, that is N type semiconductor, that is a donor concentration is there, which is shown in the B figure. And the last one figure in which we shaded here the shaded region, written N, that is a carrier concentration of electron which is larger in size, which shows that in N type semiconductor carrier concentration or the majority carriers are the electrons and the minority carrier are holes. That's why hole we are showing here is a very small size. As we go for the C, that is a P type semiconductor, then here the N which is a very small, and that is the hole, that is means majority carrier are the holes which is in the larger in size because they are major here, and there is N which is the minor here. No doubt in the density of state we show that is a donor concentration, that is Na. Then it is easily we can compare about the intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductor in terms of carrier concentration or in terms of band diagram or in terms of a density of states. Then the product of this carrier concentration of electrons and holes is equation is similar as we gone before, that is Ni square is equal to Np, and which is nothing but the law of mass action. And this law of mass action which is valid not only for the intrinsic semiconductor but also it valid for the extrinsic semiconductor. Just we saw the two equation before this one, and no doubt which is under thermal equilibrium condition. But if we see the case of extrinsic semiconductor means doped semiconductor, in which the Fermi level moves toward the either the bottom of conduction band, that is in N type semiconductor, or top of the valence band means P type semiconductor. And whatever this either N type or P type carriers will important, because this, but the product of these two types of carriers will remain constant at a given temperature. Then here important is that if we have both donor and acceptor impurities are present at the same time, then what will happen? The impurity that is present in a higher concentration which determine the type of conductivity of a semiconductor. Means we know that is an N-type semiconductor, the majority charge carriers are the electrons, minority charge carriers are the holes. So that in P-type semiconductor, electrons which determine the conductivity is due to the electron, and that is nothing but the N-type semiconductor. And in P-type semiconductor, we have the majority charge carrier as the holes and minority carriers are the electrons. Means here conductivity is due to the holes, and we can say easily it is a P-type extrinsic semiconductor. But if we see the Fermi level, how we can adjust itself by using charge neutrality, means total negative charge is similar electrons and ionized acceptors, same as the total positive charge and holes and ionized donors is there. Then here the under the complete ionization condition, if we see N plus Na, just we written above in terms of word, N plus Na is equal to P plus Nd, and by using the law of mass action Np is equal to Ni square, we can write equation in terms of Nd and Na. Then we are getting equation N is equal to, then we can write this equation in terms of the majority carrier charge carriers, that is holes, P or carriers, especially Pn is equal to Ni square divided by N, and suffix N here represent the N type semiconductor, in which we know that in N type semiconductor the electrons which are the majority charge carriers and the holes which are the minority charge carriers. And similarly in P-type semiconductor, the holes which are the majority charge carriers and electrons which are the minority charge carriers. Similar like this equation, we can write equation like this Pp, and that Np is equal to Ni square divided by P, and there is a P represent here, there is a P-type semiconductor. whatever this we studied about the NP and NN, then we can write the we can show in terms of how especially in terms of pure semiconductors silicon and gallium arsenide, how we can show here the Fermi level of in the pure semiconductor is a function of temperature and impurity of concentration. In the left hand side first figure show in terms of silicon how this your Fermi level will be changed according to the temperature and donor concentration, especially impurity concentration. If you say Na value, acceptor impurity which is 10 is to 18 to 10 is to 12, how it is, or the when temperature will change, then how respect to your where the impurity concentration changes according to that. In case of gallium arsenide, same it is showing here how the relation between temperature and the your donor concentration and acceptor concentration. We're showing the dependence of the band gap because it is very important from the conclusion from these two figures is that the dependence of your band gap which is on the temperature, how it changes according to that means if we have the intrinsic carrier concentration, therefore we can get relation that is Nn is equal to Nd minus Na, means your donor concentration is greater than that Na, which is n-type semiconductor, that is electrons are the majority carriers, and pp is in p-type semiconductor, the holes are majority carriers, is equal to Na minus Nd. No doubt if acceptor concentration is greater than that of a donor concentration, then as previously I told, that is a degenerate semiconductor. Here doping concentration of electrons or doping concentration of here means doping concentration is become equal or larger is corresponding to the density of state, means that is NP, N or P or NC and NV is become heavy concentration in pure semiconductor. Then if you are very heavily doped that N and P type semiconductor, then your Fermi level will be above the EC or the below the EV, means your pure semiconductor when adding a very high concentration of impurity, that may be acceptor impurity or donor impurity, then your pure semiconductor is behaves like a conductor, and this semiconductor is called as a degenerate semiconductor because the concentration of or the doping concentration or the how much if higher is the doping, which ultimately showing or it's a consequence to the narrowing of your band gap, means a decreasing of band gap in which move towards the conductor, and that is the high impurity concentration causes the reduction in band gap, which is shown in this equation. Delta Eg is equal to that equation, and here we can how calculate by using in degenerate semiconductor silicon. We take example at a room temperature. For example, your donor concentration is less than equal to 10 raised to 18 per centimeter cube. Then if you put all these value in above equation, then you are getting delta Eg is less than equal to 0.022 electron volt, but this value which is very smaller, it is approximately 2% of original band gap of silicon, like 1.12 electron volt. But if you have Nd, there is a donor concentration is greater than equal to of effective density of states in conduction band, that is Nc, then your value of delta Eg will become 0.12 electron, and this value which is a significant to the value of band gap of silicon, that is 1.12 electron volt. And then in this figure we have to the electron density, how carrier density in terms of electrons and hole density as a function of temperature, how it is a function of temperature, that is, and basis of that how it will be shift from extrinsic semiconductor to the intrinsic semiconductor. We are taking here simple example of a silicon sample with a donor concentration, means that n-type semiconductor, like we adding the donor impurities, that is a 10 raised to 15 per centimeter cube in silicon material. For example, you take here left side figure at a low temperature, how we have temperature which is in Kelvin from 100 degrees Celsius 100 to to 600 Kelvin, we showing here three region. That is the first region, that is a frozen region. Second is the extrinsic region, and third one is the intrinsic region. No doubt it is a function of temperature. Means if you see in first region, that is the frozen freeze out region, or we call it as a frozen electrons in that at low temperature. If the temperature is less than 100 Kelvin, then at low temperature the thermal energy of this in the crystal enough to ionize all the donor impurities present in it, so that electrons are frozen at the donor level. Means at that region electron density is less than at the donor concentration. But as the temperature is increased from 100 Kelvin to 450 Kelvin, then here the complete ionization is arrived, and your Nn is equal to Nd. Means in n-type semiconductor majority charge carriers are the electrons. This becomes same as that is the donor concentration Nd. And if you see further, if we increase the temperature from 450 to above, then because the region 100 to 450 region, that region is a doped region, that is we n-type here, n-type semiconductor, that is the extrinsic semiconductor region, so we call it as extrinsic region. But further if you increase the temperature, then what will happen, this extrinsic semiconductor will be converted into the intrinsic semiconductor, because that Ni, because that is Nd is become the Ni. As before we shown that how shown that if you increase the donor concentration or acceptor concentration, then it is become become towards or comparable to the donor concentration, and beyond this point the extrinsic semiconductor is become intrinsic semiconductor. And no doubt this is temperature at which the semiconductor become intrinsic depends upon the impurity concentration and the band gap value. If you see in left right hand side figure, we are setting the concentration for the Ni, that is value is given here particularly for 9.65 times 9 per centimeter cube, which is for intrinsic carrier concentration for the silicon and gallium arsenide 2.25 times to 6 per centimeter cube, which is a function of temperature. The silicon which is having band gap, it is a 1.12 electron volt. In last lectures already we shown this figure how that is your intrinsic carrier concentration or is a function of that is a band gap, or no doubt in terms of also temperature we are showing here. Then on the based on the intrinsic carrier concentration, and just we gone through the extrinsic carrier concentration, that is n type and p type, will solve the some numerical. That is the first numerical is if you take a pure silicon and which doped with the 10 raised to 16 arsenic atoms, and that arsenic atoms we know that which is the donor impurity, that is means p type semiconductor. Then in this numerical we have to find the carrier concentration and the Fermi level which is at room temperature. Then by you then under the complete ionization condition or the complete ionization of impurity atoms, N is become Nd, and that Nd value is given in our numerical 10 raised to 16 per centimeter cube, and from that easily we can calculate the carrier concentration of holes, because in n-type semiconductor the majority charge carriers are the electrons and minority charge carriers are the hole. Ni value is already given here, and from that you can calculate easily hole concentration 9.3 in 10 to 3 per centimeter cube. Then we can calculate the Fermi level which is measured from the bottom of conduction band, that is Ec minus Ef. The Kt value is constant, that is 0.0259 electron volt we are putting just here. Then Nc value is also given 2.86 in 10 to 19, that here by mistakenly given 10 to 10, it should be 10 to 16. Then from that we are getting the value of Ec minus Ef is equal to 0.205 electron volt. Then we can also calculate the Fermi level which is measured from the reference level, that is Ef minus Ei, and just put the value of Nd and I. Then we are getting F minus Ei is equal to 0.358 electron volt, and this all Ec minus Ef, Ef minus Ei we are showing in terms of band diagram, because we know silicon having band gap 1.12 electron volt, and with respect to the reference level and with respect to the Fermi level, we are showing the value here, that is ED value we just shown here. Then we'll go for another example of a silicon. The band gap we know that is 1.12 electron volt. Then Nc and Nv means carrier, the effective density of state in the conduction band and effective density of state in the valence band. The value is given. Then we have to find the carrier concentration, which is at thermal equilibrium for electrons and holes. Then this formula will just, we already gone through. N naught is equal to Nc exponential and P naught is equal to Nv exponential. Just you put the value, do this calculation, previous numericals and this numerical also you can solve in notebook, and go through the thoroughly the calculation part and check the value is correct or not. Then N naught is equal to, we are getting here value, that is carrier concentration of electrons 1.8 into 10 is to 15, and P naught is equal to 2.7 into 10 is to 4 per centimeter cube. Then electron and hole concentration here change in the order here, say the Fermi energy changes by few tens of electron volt. Then we'll go for the another example, that is the donor concentration in a simple n-type silicon is increased by a factor of 100. Then how we can find the energy in shift? That is the delta E value, the given value is there. Then just do the number of steps of calculation. Then you are getting delta E is equal to 115.15 milli-electron volt. Do the calculation, actually write in notebook. Then we will go to next numerical. A silicon sample is doped to 10 is to 17 arsenic atom, means again the donor impurity is there, and n-type semiconductor. Then we have to calculate the easily, when we have to calculate here what is the equilibrium concentration of hole, and we have to also calculate the EF relative to the EI, means the Fermi energy level relative to the reference level. Given is the intrinsic carrier concentration is given. Then from the numerical, the donor concentration which is very higher than that of intrinsic carrier concentration, there is the donor concentration 10 to 70, but intrinsic is like in the power of 10 is to 10. Then by using law of mass action, we can easily calculate the carrier concentration of hole, and that is nothing but 2.25 into 10 to 3 per centimeter cube, which shows that here the n-type semiconductor majority charge carriers the electrons and minority charge carrier the hole. Then relative Fermi level with respect to reference level you can calculate by using EF minus EI formula. Just put the value. AT value is a constant 0.0259 electron volt. Then you are getting the value 0.407 electron volt, and from the reference level EF is 0.407 electron volt, which is shown in the band diagram. Then we go for the another one example. If you take this numerical only half part, we will see a pure silicon sample at 300 K with intrinsic carrier concentration is given 1.5 times to 16 per meter cube, which is doped with phosphorus, means again n-type semiconductor, that is donor impurities. And from that we have to calculate here, calculate the carrier concentration of electrons. Then by using law of mass action, just you go through the calculation step by step, rearrange the term. You are getting 1 into 10 is to 23 per meter cube, and relative position of your Fermi level with respect to the intrinsic level, with respect to the Fermi, with respect to the reference level, EF minus EI, just put all the values. Then you are getting 0.406 electron volt, and which is shown in the figure, because this is a silicon material. This band gap is 1.12 electron volt. Then we'll go for the more numericals. See here, calculate the intrinsic carrier concentration or intrinsic carrier density Ni, which is at room temperature. Though all the value is given, effective, that is the mass of electron, then effective mass of holes, and effective mass of electron is given. Then in previous lecture already we've gone through this formula, carrier concentration of intrinsic carrier concentration, and just go to the formula, put each value, solve the step by step. Then finally you are getting, do your own calculation and calculate I am calculated here Ni intrinsic carrier concentration is a 2.3 into 10 raised to 18 per centimeter cube. Similar problem we can also see. Calculate the intrinsic carrier concentration at 300 K, which is for the germanium material. All the value is given here. Then put the value, all this value in the formula. Just do the calculation carefully. Go thoroughly step by step. And finally you are getting Ni is equal to 4.7187 into 10 raised to 18 per centimeter cube. In this way, you can solve the number of numerical based on the carrier concentration of intrinsic and extrinsic, that is a p-type, n-type, also the relative Fermi level position with respect to the reference level. But do your own calculation and solve in the notebook. With this, for this particular lecture, I use this number of reference papers, reference books, and some that is a website from which this material is taken. And this whatever the website we used here, the which is only for the academic purpose we used. And then in next lecture we'll go for the carrier transport phenomenon which include the mobility, conductivity. Then we'll go for diffusion. Also we'll go for the one more important law, or that is effect, we Hall effect. We'll go for that. Thank you very much.